The tech sector under some pressure right now, largely driven by the tariff uncertainty. Joining us right now with more on that is Doug Clinton. He's the founder and CEO of Intelligent Alpha. Good morning to you. So we do have, by the way, we have lawsuits, antitrust cases. Maybe we're going to break up these tech companies. You got the Nvidia story. You got the Apple story. Is there any tech you like right now?
Andrew, it feels like nothing can really go right for big tech right now. It's all going against them all year. That's been the case. But in terms of big tech, what we like at Intelligent Alpha, where we do use AI to do our portfolio creation, Nvidia is still our top AI pick. And I know that that is probably at this point exhausting to hear. The stock has not worked this year. It really hasn't worked the last 6 months. But I think if you look at the bottom line, 21 times forward earnings, I think those earnings are pretty solid. We've de-risked the China issue now with the H20 ban. And I don't think that the hyperscalers, no matter what happens in the economy, are going to stop spending on Nvidia chips. So that is still the name that our models are sticking with.
And you still think that Nvidia, I mean, one of the things, though, that we've been talking about for months now, by the way, including Andy Jassy, who was on the broadcast just last week, talking about how ultimately the price of these chips has to come down. Like, this whole thing doesn't really work unless the price comes down. And who would eat that price? Nvidia more than anybody else.
I think you'll see over time, and this happens always in tech, right? Prices come down and the ability of whether it's software or hardware improves over time. That's the story of technology. But I think the other side of the AI bull market is really what is the consumer side? What is the enterprise side for demand for these products? And what we're seeing over the last 3 months, and I don't think this is being reflected in stocks at all, is that there is huge demand for these products. And I think it's increasing and even accelerating with the O3 model launched last week from OpenAI. You have Grok from xAI. You have Gemini's new model from Google. All three of them have said they have capacity constraints in terms of what they can serve to customers right now. I think the demand will be there to force more chip buying, even if prices do come down.
Is there anybody you like? So you like Nvidia a little bit, but what about, where do you land on Apple, for example?
We don't own Apple. So Nvidia is actually the only mega cap tech stock that we own in our Livermore ETF LIVR. And earlier this year, our models, our AI models that do the picking for that portfolio, shifted out of big tech except for Nvidia. And ironically, about 2 weeks ago, the biggest contrarian bet the models wanted to make is into gold. And so what we have right now in our model is sort of this barbell approach where we have AI stocks like Nvidia, we have Micron, TSM, and then we have a pretty heavy position in gold and gold miners. And so that's kind of how AI is viewing the world right now in terms of managing the risk and opportunity in the markets.
What would you tell the investor class that's sitting here watching us saying that owns an Apple, that owns an Alphabet, that owns a Meta? Would you say you don't want to be owning these things at all? I mean, if you were a hedge fund, would you be shorting these things?
I wouldn't short them at all, no. I think if I owned them, and I do own some of those stocks personally, I would say you hold on to them. And the way that we saw this kind of play out in 2023, I'll go rewind 2 years ago when we started thinking there could be a recession. In fact, I think it was consensus we would get a recession in 23. One of the plays that point in time was you just own the mega cap tech stocks because they're offensive and defensive at the same time. They have the upside of AI, and they have really strong balance sheets and products that consumers can't live without. If you did get the recession, that narrative might be relevant again here. If we do go into recessionary times, I think the big cap tech stocks are good to own.